quickie update review, or whatever, on the Spyderco Caribbean, which is fucking mega. Since I got this, I have not carried anything else. And yeah, that's pretty much the long, the short, and the curly of it. It's not perfect, but the punchline is really the steel. Spyderco has broken the sort of the triad of steel design, you could say, and that is you have your choice of toughness, edge retention, and corrosion resistance, and this has broken that by being completely corrosion resistant. I've carried it, I've cooked with it, I've not cleaned it, I've deliberately, you know, done stuff like cut pickles and eat with it and shit like that, got acids, nothing, not a hint of corrosion. So, and you know, it's LC200N, obviously, so it claims to be highly corrosion resistant, so you wouldn't expect it to. So, there's that. Corrosion resistance, you've got excellent toughness, behaves much like a carbon steel, and as a result, you also have quite good edge retention. I mean, you're not looking at high carbide volume steel style edge retention, but you're looking at great fine edge forming and fine edge retention. Just like, honestly, this is like 52-100. Except it doesn't corrode, and that is quite excellent, in my opinion anyway. I did notice Spyderco, or Sal Glesser at least, seems to have been watching the clip stamp forum, because this came with a much more acute apex angle on it than Spydercos generally do, and that's good. That's a thing. The edge retention has been good. The sharpenability, I'd sort of forgotten, because so many of my carbon steel knives had thicker edges. Even the Japanese ones, which are very thin at the apex, you have a very high grind, which you know, in essence, zero grind, so it takes a lot of time to grind them out. Something like this with, you know, just an apex bevel, man, it touches up so fast. And so even though you can claim that, you know, S90V will hold an edge much longer, which I think S90V is sort of my informally determined peak of where edge retention kind of maxes out with carbide volume, and after that, you know, you get into the Rex 121 and you've lost your fine edge retention. This, it's just a couple, you know, if you touch it up once a week, a couple passes per side, you know, you spend 3 minutes on it a week. You can touch up the spots you miss shaving with it constantly. Like, yeah, okay, you do a lot of carbo or something like that, but you'll still have whatever part of the blade you didn't use that'll be able to pop some hairs, and you're good to go. You're back in the game. So, very, very positive things to say about LC200N. The only thing I can see usurping this from my pocket is another LC200N knife, which I believe will be the Autonomy 2. In theory, I should have one coming. I chatted with Sal Glesser about it. Again, you know, can't say this enough times. He's a stand-up dude. He really is a good guy. And yeah, no, this is a great knife. It's sort of what you'd want. Now, what would I change? Because one must nitpick and gripe. I like the pocket clip. It's nicely dehorned. You're not cutting things. It could be dehorned better. I believe it's titanium. I could pull it out, toss it in the tumbler, something like that. I haven't seen the need. These handles, they are very controversial. People don't like them, and I didn't like them in the pictures. And then they came, and I don't know if you can see that, but I think it's just fiberglass, just layers of colored fiberglass. But man, it kind of looks like an aramid fiber in there. You can actually see sort of like carbon fiber has that sort of black-gray iridescence. This has that gold fiber iridescence, which actually is, I think anyway, a beautiful up-close detail. I don't know how well the camera's capturing that, and it provides excellent grip aggression, but it doesn't fuck your pockets. This is less pocket, let me put it this way, less pocket fuckery occurs with this knife than with a Para 2 and its peel-ply texture surface. And part of that is because the clip, as you can see, pinches on this nice flat here, which was a clever little design element. And, you know, that was something that I didn't like the look of, and I still think it's a little, it's a little garish, but man, it works great, like, and up close it's cool. Gripes though, I do also like the jimping. I really do. The spider hole was too sharp for me. Spyderco prefers a sharper spider hole than I do, and so I always go in and dehorn those, and I did that, and that worked well. But the gripe is around here. I like a choke-up choil, like a Para 2 has. Really, I would have been happiest if this was basically a Para 2, but made, completely corrosion resistant through and through. It wasn't, but when it initially came, the blade wasn't quite free swinging. I believe it does not run on a bushing pivot system because it doesn't feel like it. It has since loosened up a bit, so you can flick it open and closed if you actuate the compression lock. But yeah, no, great knife. So yeah, that's my major gripe there. This keeps you from choking up the way you'd want to, and while it is nice in a pinch grip like this, it means if you're cutting on a surface like you're doing food prep, actually you can see there perfectly illustrated by the shadow, the blade will not contact the surface. So what you've got to do is go up, and draw a cut through, which is, again, not a calamity, but not perfect. Not my personal preference, I guess we'll say. I realize this was designed as a dive specific knife, but yeah, silky smooth action, typical of their Tai Chung. I did put, there's a ceramic bearing in there, which is normally quite smooth, but for some reason it put up a little bit of a fight. There was just a little bit of not perfect smoothness at one little point. And it felt like maybe the previous bearing had a little galling against it, and then when they swap bearings, it just, it's like this. I just put a little bit of a high-load grease on there, let it smooth out, and now it's been washed and blown out many times, and it's just glass smooth. Yeah, no, it's a great knife. Oh, one other gripe. Maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't. I believe this here, the lanyard hole, is ever so slightly loose tolerance. The tiniest dab or ding or anything to the edge of this could prevent it from moving. But if you, yeah, there it is. You can hear that. If you flick it just so, you can hear that. Hasn't bothered me. But I did notice it. That's an awfully nitpicky thing to complain about, but yeah, no, it's something. And yeah, so other than that, basically the perfect Spyderco, perfect knife, perfect EDC. The Autonomy 2, I look forward to it, and I'll bang out a review on that when it's here. But LC200N, can't say enough good things about this. Would buy more knives built in this steel and to this standard, but until that happens, it's sort of rendered the carrying of more knives kind of moot for me, because I got a real paranoia against corrosion. I don't like my knives rusting. I don't like having to worry about things, deal with the bullshit, and, I have, for everybody's like, well, I've never rusted my S30V knife or what have you. Well, I have. So, you cut open a package of hot dogs or something like that, good, salty liquid or something like that, even if you just wipe it off in your pants and put it away, you don't remember it, you'll come back the next day and you'll have some spots of corrosion on the knife. Not a speck of corrosion on this thing. I've cooked with it extensively. It makes it much more convenient and utilitarian because, if you want to cook with it, you can wash it without worrying about getting water and soap and everything like that in the action pivot. Just go in, rinse, clean, don't give a shit, repeat, what have you. It just, it really, really enhances the utility of the knife as an EDC, as a pocket knife, as whatever. And I love it lots and use it lots. And I look forward to more LC200N knives, but not going to be, probably not going to be carrying anything that's not LC200N from here on out, because this is what everybody has always wanted. Well, or I've always wanted, which is a carbon steel knife that does not rust. And I know somebody's going to claim AEBL, well, it's corrosion resistant enough for them, and it's got better edge retention. I don't know, man. This this does it for me better than, granted, any AEBL knife I've had, which is several now, but, you know, it's one of those things everybody says, well, they heat treated it wrong. Probably did, probably fair, but, you know, this is right, and you can buy it, and you can not worry about it, and that's great. So yeah, see you guys at the next video. I hope you enjoyed 10 minutes of rambling, and see you later.